Hello, everyone. This weekend was kind of a weird weekend because when I went to Rockville, the coin shop owner had a small box of junk silver and said, when I asked him how much he was at on junk silver, he said 24x. And I was like, whoosh, that's pretty high. I didn't say that to him, but I was looking for other stuff anyway. But before I start that, a friend of mine who I've made acquaintance with in the last year or so had a bunch of silver and knows I like silver coins. This is a 1922, and it's a Denver mint, although it's kind of hard to see the D. Gave me this piece dollar. Now, this is going in my coin album of stuff that people have gave me, which I'll open it up and we'll kind of open this up and we'll kind of look real quick. All right. That 73 dime, which is uncirculated, was part of A.G. Stacker's giveaway. He sent me this because I didn't win the big prize, but I did win. This was given to me. It's a Mexican 2 peso coin. It was a gift from a guy I know at the Mexican restaurant I go to a lot. If I remember correctly, that dime came from Frosty, or I believe so. That quarter was from Martin. These 2 nickels came from Daryl's shop. Daryl's Diamonds. He's a guy I buy some. Now, those, I believe, one was from A.G. Stacker and the other was from Old Coin Country Collector and Christmas cards. But it's hard to remember sometimes where and who sent you what. But anyway, the piece dollar, this one, is being inserted into this holder for now. If I can get this open. I may put it in some kind of card, but for now, it's going to sit right there alongside everything else in this. Now, A.G. Stacker also sent me a couple things that won't fit in this. So he sent me a small silver star that someone poured, a 10-gram button, and a 1-ounce Monarch Egyptian bar. So we'll put away the coin album, but for now. All right. Getting back to the Rockville coin shop. Well, I asked him 6 weeks ago, or whenever it was last time I went up there, if he had any of these kind of coins. And just so happens he had a couple of circulated ones. They're 1 peso ones, which do ping. It's a different ping than 90%. But you can hear it resonate for a while. And what I was looking for was odd year ones. That rings pretty good. Because out of my other stack, I have just about every even year there is, I believe. That's a 58 and a 50, a 66, 64, 67, 62, and a 58. And this one is 1960. So for this small stack, I've got 2 more odd years now, and there's only 3 years left to get. There's 1 duplicate on here. I have 2 58s. But I need the 61, the 63, and the 65. I looked up the mintages on these. The 1965 is by far the lowest mintage number of these, and they only made about 5 million that year. and some of the other ones are in tens, 40, 50 million. So it's going to be one you won't encounter near as often. So we'll set these down. Now, also while I was at the Rockville Coin Show, the shop, I mean, he had this. It's not silver, but it is pretty well uncirculated, in my opinion. It does not look like it's really got any wear. Now, these, you can buy them from AppMex, but I'm pretty sure they're $2 or $3. I don't remember exactly, but this was $1 and he took a quarter off. Now, I was looking through his stuff and he had this one peso coin. It's 720, which it says 720 up there. 72% silver. It has a few scratches on it, looks like, and what looks like a couple scratches here, but this particular design says Libertad there. It says 1945. It's a peso coin. It's 3857 of silver, of an ounce of silver. So it's not a bad amount for, and he knocks some off the price too, because he knew I came from Terre Haute. I told him the last 2 times I visited him, I lived in Terre Haute. And I also had this one. This one is especially for addicted to minis to see. There's a rather large hole in this one. But thankfully, they done it to the side enough that you can see it's a 1935. They didn't hoe out that part. Otherwise, this would have been a little more, but he took the ASW on it, figured out how much it was, and then knocked the price down to where it was practically at melt. It's a little bit above, but not too bad. So we'll move this out of the way for the time being and talk about the bag of silver coins. All these were $1.46 a piece. So some of these bigger ones are definitely more than $1.46 in melt. Most of the dimes are Canadian ones and are right at it. These 5-cent Canadian coins are sterling silver, so there might be some collectability to them because they're a little bit lower mintages. So what I need to do to know if I got all this under melt or not is to get my scale out. Bear with me, it'll only take a very short moment to get it out. By the way, it's got attitude. It says Punk's Not Dead on it. And it's got a flaming mohawk type hairdo. This is your calibration. You want to make sure this is calibrated out. So we turn it on. It's on grams. This is 50 grams. So you'll notice that says 50 and that is on there. Now, so what I got to do to realize whether or not, and we'll move this stuff so I can just kind of pull them out in this. By the way, the Rockville Coin Shop had about 4 or 5 of these. They did not have the 47, which is a lower mintage than the 48 is. And he was quite a bit more than what I ended up paying for that one. So we'll move it over this side too, and let's see what we got in the bag. I've kind of looked at some of them through the bag. I just cut the bag open, so we'll set all this down in a little pile. Now, most of these are circulated some of them a lot more than others, like this one is basically a chip. It's so far gone, I can tell it is probably it's believe it to be British. The date, it's partially there. It looks like it says 1801 on it. Or maybe it's, I don't know. But this side, you can definitely see the crest there with the single line for Scotland, the 3 lines Well. Looking at it closer, it's just a single line, so this might be a Scottish coin. I'll put that on there. Now I'm going to change this. That's a 2.7 gram coin, which is somewhere around a dime, US dime, roughly, somewhere a little bit more, not a lot. So we'll put this to troy ounces because that's what I'm aiming for. Now, one of the coolest coins in it is a Balboa. This one is 1953. It's 90% silver, 6.5 grams roughly. Put that on the scale. Another one I thought that was pretty neat. This is a, can't see the date on this side. It looks like Leopold II. I'm not really sure who made this coin. And the date, I cannot, looks like 18 something. Down there, there's a 1/8. We'll put that on the scale. There's a 1 franc coin and 50 centimes or centimes. These are both French, I believe. This is a 1901. This one is 1916. We'll put them on the scale. We'll get down to this and see that this is Napoleon III, which makes this a French coin. We'll put that on the scale. This is British. It's a 1 shilling from 1915, which I'm pretty sure that makes it sterling. And by the way, we're now sitting at just about 1 troy ounce of weight. But I have to be quite a bit more than that to make this worth its while. This is a 1 real from Guatemala. I thought this Libertad side, this is 835 silver, and it is 1894. Put it on. That puts us over 1 troy ounce in total weight here. Let's see. King George quarter, Canadian, 1952. He would pass away in 1952, I believe, and then Queen Elizabeth took the throne. So this is one of the last coins that bared his likeness. Put that on there. This is a 68, which that makes this a 50% Canadian. So it's a little bit less silver in content. This is 750 silver. It's a Philippine wartime coin from 1944. It's a Denver mint. We made these for them because they were our possession or colony, whatever you want to call them. All right, what do we got here? This is a German coin from 1915. World War I coin. We were at war with them at the time. Oh wait, yeah, it's 1915. We'll put that on there. I'm not sure what its percentage is. Another older Canadian coin, 1941. That's a wartime coin too. King George on it. Put that on there. Another Canadian quarter, 1952. Another one with King George. A little bit more worn than the other one. All right. According to my scale, we are at 2 troy ounces, and we haven't looked at hardly any of these other coins, the smaller ones. That is another German coin. It's a half mark, 1912. Hello, country coin collector. Hello, Aunt Laura. I bought this bag of coins here, these foreign coins, $1.46 a piece. I'm trying to figure out if altogether I got enough weight here to make this worth the amount of money I paid for it. I think I'm over 2 troy ounces of total weight on the scale. Now, this is a Canadian one, 1881. So that'd be Queen Victoria. Canadian. We'll flip it back over. It's got a crown on the back. I believe this is sterling. Put it on the scale. What's this saying? Another French coin. It's a 50 centimes, 1906. Not sure if it's 50% or what. Another one. It is, what is the year on this one? 1915. That's a World War I coin. All right, we're getting down to just about all dimes left. That's a King George Canadian 5-cent coin with a 1912, and it's bent pretty bad, like someone hit with a hole punch. Put that on the scale. That doesn't add much. Almost forgot about this one. 1915 Cuban Silver Star. It got away from the pile. This one's 5 grams, 900 silver. So it's going to add a little bit. All right now we're at 2.5 troy ounces. It's looking pretty good. I'll start separating these dimes away from the smaller ones, which that says 10 cents on it. Looks like Canadian. That says 5 cents, 1906. This is another French coin, I believe. Another one of them 50 centimes. That goes on there. See another Queen Victoria coin. It is battered and bruised, but I think it's Queen Victoria anyway. Kind of looks like that other one. Put that on there. Now, what's left in here? King George, another one of the French coins. 1910. We're getting close to 3 troy ounces of weight. This one's so bad worn that all you got's the outline of a face. And 1 dime. Is this a barber dime in my foreign coin stack? Kind of looks like it. That definitely says 1 dime on it. And that looks like the front of the face of Liberty on the barber coins. That's kind of crazy. Put that on there. Let's see what else is in this. That's another Queen Victoria, I believe. Pretty bad worn. You're not going to be able to tell what denomination or nothing on that. All right, we're getting down to, here's another small coin. That's another King George V. It's another 5-cent Canadian coin, 1904. All right. This isn't Canadian. What is? Oh, yeah, it is. This is a 10-cent Canadian from 1929. Probably 50% maybe, or maybe 80%. I don't really remember for sure. And by the way, that's over 3 troy ounces now. The rest of this looks like all Canadian dimes. These should all be 80% unless there's one from 67 or 68 in here. 58. There's a 68, so that one's 50%. if I can get it to read. That's King George. That's definitely old enough. 62, 65, 53, 65 again. This will be your first, some of your first coins with Queen Elizabeth, and this one's damaged. But when you're paying only $1.46 and they're kind of like melt coins, you expect them to be cheap. 56 and a 64, 50, 52 or 62, and then this one is a 65. So we've got 9 Canadian dimes. Hey, Spray Can, how you doing? 9 Canadian dimes to fill out what's in it. Now, some of this weight won't be silver because they're not all, none of them are pure silver. But at $1.46 per coin, it's showing me with 3.7, almost 3.8 ounces of silver in the bag. How much of it is base metals? I would say take off at least 10%. So about take this down to just at least 10%, maybe 15 at the most. So you're talking about right around 3 troy ounces and change. Now the price, $1.46. There was 39 of them according to my coin dealer, $57. So if you got let's just go 3.2 troy ounces, and somewhere around $24 melt on this. 3 troy ounces worth of silver should be about $76 each, somewhere around there. So we're talking probably close to $20 under melt for the whole batch of silver. That's quite a bit below melt. That is a lot below melt, actually. It's probably more below melt than it probably should have been. Now we want to count how many coins there are in total. I'll grab these dimes. There was 9. I added one of the coins off the pile. That's 10. Some of these are really small, the 5-cent coins. That's 20 coins. Now I'm getting down to the ones that are a little bit bigger, most of them. Hell, there might, almost looks like there might be more than 39 coins in this. 5, 6, 7. Which should be interesting too, I think. That's 30 coins, which leaves me this many more. By the way, one of the best ones in the bag is probably this quarter Balboa. And that's a good size one too. It's a 1 franc coin. 2, 8, 4, 8. Unless I miscounted one somewhere, I'm only showing 38 coins. But even if it is 38 instead of 39, it's under melt. It's quite a bit under melt, actually. So I cannot complain. How many grains of coins is this? We'll just start putting it on here. Because if you know your uh, grains for this thing has a limit, but I think it's like 200 grains or something like that, or grams. I mean, another way, hey Kane, another way to look at this is how many grams of silver coins is that? 118 grams. But like I said, some of these are 80% Canadian coins, and some are, but it's reading 3.801 troy ounces now. So, with some of them being 80% and some being 83.5 or something, and some sterling, the smaller ones, that uh, Philippines coin was only 750. So I didn't feel like I did too bad on these. I mean, there's several bigger coins that are well worth more than $1.46 a piece, and some of these little ones. I mean, the melt on a Canadian dime was like $1.44 when I just checked. There's a couple 50% coins in here too, but there's enough coins in all. Oh, Evila, Evi, Evi, Evila. I think that's how it's pronounced. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. But that's what I bought. And like I said, out of this, some of the coins I thought was most interesting, to me anyway, was the Balboa, which is a quarter Balboa. It's 6.5 grams, or really close to it. 6.16 is a bit worn. It says 6.5 on it and 90%. It's scraped. The back's kind of messed up a little bit. It's supposed to be 6.5 grams, but it's worn. So this one's supposed to be 5 grams and 90%. 4.87. Well, it's pretty close. This is a Cuban star coin, 1915. A neat looking design. One that I've got other ones, but I quite like this design. It's pre-revolution, not, but the Canadian coins, the quarters, all this stuff is kind of neat. This one shilling from 1915 is probably sterling. I believe they were all sterling at that time. They didn't change to 50% until a few years after that. This is a World War I coin. I like the design with the lion on the crown. But I don't know if when they tell you at the coin shop that their junk silver's running 24x, that's how much the guys in Rockville said they had a thing of junk silver. I didn't buy that. I bought some Mexican coins from him. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and put these back in the bag and say that it was a win, because for $57, if it's 3 troy ounces, $24 an ounce, you're pretty far under melt at that point. These are basically stacking type coins. All of them are pretty well circulated a bit and worn a bit. But that was that bag. And it was, well, how much? If it's exact, it's probably a little over 3 ounces. But 24 times 3 is roughly $72 in troy ounce worth of silver. If that almost came out to 3.8 total weight, but some of that ain't silver, being the percentages and stuff on the coins. I don't feel too bad. I'd probably buy something like this again. I bought a bag similar to this a while back that had a Balboa in it, a couple Cuban Star coins, and a few others. It was cheaper than this one, but didn't have near as many coins. All right, let's go back and talk about what I did get, sum it all up, other than that bag. Not silver, but in really good shape. They broke BU. Looks like it has a scratch there on the corner of that rim, so it might be pushing it to call it really a BU because of the damage. That little bit of damage is enough to take it away from being a mint state type coin. But there's no wear to speak of on this. By the way, same front design as what this one has. This one's 90% silver though. And that's a 30-gram coin. That's a lot more than a silver dollar. My scale might be slightly off, but this tested on the Sigma at the jeweler's shop is 90% silver. And he said he's seen several of them. He has no doubt it was real before he even put it on the thing, which is kind of neat. Now we'll get back to these pesos. He knocks some of the cost off of these. Between these two, you're talking nearly 0.8 ounces of silver, except this one has a hole, so it's probably more like about 0.7 ounces of silver or so. It's 720. It's a neat design, though. I like them. Right now, I looked on AmpMex. They don't have any in stock. None. So it's very hard to judge whether or not my price I ended up really paying for these was pretty good. But when he took this one and had the hole in it, I said, "Can you do any better?" And he calculated its silver weight here, multiplied it by 24, maybe included the pennies worth difference, and then said rounded it up to the next even dollar. So it was 9 something melt. Told me, "I'll let you have it for 10. He knocked some off of this one too, which is kind of cool. But these Morales pesos here, all of them are pretty well circulated. 3 more to go, and I'll have one from every year. I have 258s, and I have all the other evens, all the odds except the 61, 63, and 65. And if you're looking for these and you want to get one of each year and you find a 65 first, buy that one because it's the lowest mintage of the bunch, hardest to find. All right. What else should we talk about? I mean, 3 people are still around. Anybody got any questions? By the way, I had dimes in a different room and dropped them. A couple of them. I thought I only dropped one, but it turns out I dropped 2 of them when I was making some previous videos. This one's been kind of circulated quite a bit, toned up, and scratched. Everything that happens to these things. All right, we'll put the scale up because I'm pretty well done messing with the scale for now. Like I said, does anybody got any questions? Because I really do need. Hello, John. How you doing? I really do need to take my box of dimes and fold in the other box that's a smaller box into the bigger box. anybody wants to stick around for that. EV1 Go, don't know. But I don't know, do you like Mexican silver? Like these 1 peso ones from, this is a 45. Now this one I got the needle addicted to minis a little bit because of the hole being in it. And he did knock the price down from what he had it marked. It's a neat design. I like the way they look. Thanks, Aunt Laura. And I don't know if you all were around earlier when I started. I talked about my coin album, and that friend of mine that I've grown to know in the last year told me, because I talked coins some, told me that they had a bunch of coins. They brought in 1923 or 22D peace dollar and gave it to me. And this is by far the biggest coin in this album. I can't put the 1 ounce Monarch bar that AG Stacker sent me in here because this doesn't hold something that thick. And it won't hold the 10-gram button he gave me or the silver star either. So all the rest of the stuff is gifts to me from Old Coin Country. Old Country Coin Collector got one in here, and so did AG Stacker again. This was in my Christmas card that Old Country Coin Collector sent me, and that AG Stacker sent me because he knows I have a few of these cut coins like this, and I guess he thought I wouldn't mind having another. But we'll put away that, move these over here, create some room for my dimes. Grab my dimes. Don't know how well all this is ordered out on the second half. I'll find it. It's right up here somewhere. By the way, something I have not shown, I ended up getting a few Roosevelts. I bought a Coins of Mexico typeset, most 5960s for $9 a couple weeks ago. By typeset, I'm going to assume you mean, but all these were 250. I got these a few weeks ago and hadn't even, I put them away and hadn't really even said nothing about it or done a video for them. This one's pretty well brilliant uncirculated almost. It's a 63, and 50 and 51S are both circulated some. Not horribly too bad, but I hadn't even done a video for these yet. And not even a short, nothing. But anyway, here's what I got going. This side's all dimes. This side's all dimes, but there's quite a bit of room. Some of these are, there's a couple, there's a silver proof in it from 2000. And then there's a 1976 proof, but I don't think that one's actually silver. But I'm loaded to about halfway on this, not quite halfway on the side, and I probably got a little bit of room left on this side. This one ends with the 44D Mercury dime, and at $1.35, you can tell I bought that one a little while back. All right, let's find another box of dimes. what I have here is the second box of dimes that I want to blend into that one to see if I can fill it the rest of the way. That was a 44D back there. This starts with 44S. We'll just stick it behind those for now. These aren't labeled. That's not labeled. These are nice looking ones here. I'm probably going to keep these out of this. This one not so much, but these two are probably staying out. These two got great eye appeal. It is 44 and 41. Philly and Philly. These two are barely circulated, if they're even circulated at all. They might have some bag marks, but you're talking about a pretty nice looking dime. Both of these. So I'm not going to put these in. They're not labeled, and this is generally just random stack type coins, basically. And I'm not in very good order on them either, since I just put out a 23 and a 26 and a 40S. Another 23. I thought I had these arranged. I got a lot of arranging to do then, probably. God. Well, I'm probably not going to do this all tonight because this is way out of order, and I thought it was in better order than this. Most of these are Roosevelts, and they're not. I thought they were ordered better, but they're not. Set that down for a moment, and I'll blend a couple of these in. Show you that this starts with an 1897. That's not in real bad shape. It says G. That's not too bad for a barber dime. That one's definitely polished from 1899. Let's go back and work that 23 in. Another 23. And then there's a 26. Philadelphia. Put that one in there. And there's a 40S. We'll put that in here. Since this isn't very well sorted, I'm not going to bore you too much because got a 2004 Proof Silver Quarters and a 2019 W ATM from Big Flip, and the W is Mint State. Got that the other day. Well, that's kind of cool. So that kind of kills the idea of doing this dimes because I thought that other box was ordered better, and I think the order on this side on these isn't exactly great either. Don't want to bore you too much with sorting all them. So, but I feel like how much is left in room in this and how much is left in that, it'll pretty much fill that box. Just not going to happen tonight because they're not arranged very good. And to arrange them better would probably take upwards of 30 or 40 minutes. That's just too much. Of course, that is one reason why coin dealers charge you a little extra when they put these in cards like this. Because when you do that, you got to put a date on it, price it, the whole 9 yards. If you've got a box like this and you're trying to keep it in order, it's pretty hard to do too. But lest you think I don't have my dimes in pretty good order, this is a different box. This is why I don't really feel like I need to buy any more dimes for a long time. This is a bigger box than most coin dealers have. I had it backwards. It's 14 inches long. It's 2 coins wide. Starts with an 1892 and 93 Barber dimes that were $4. Runs through a few Barber dimes, maybe 10 of them, and then it goes into Barber, or not Barber, but Mercury dimes all the way up until the other side. Till right to this one. Hey AG Stacker, how's it going? You missed quite a bit. The Micro S Mercury dime. I call it Micro S because this S-mint on this is super tiny. It's hard to see it through this, but if you saw what that looked like, maybe if you could see it, and you look at one that isn't Micro S and the S is bigger. I don't know how well it'll show up on the video, but I'm hoping it's good enough you can tell. I don't know how rare the Micro S was, but it is one that if you see it, you might want to buy it because it's not as common as the rest of them. So I've got about 20 Mercury dimes on this second side, and then I'll put my finger here. That amount of dimes, and then the rest of these are all Roosevelts, and a lot of them. But that box, I'll put this right there, and you'll know that's a standard American ruler, 12 inches, and the box goes on a little bit further. So it's probably 270 dimes, in that range. It's got a bit of weight to it. Not as much as if it was Morgan dollars. If it was Morgan dollars, we'd be talking about a crazy amount of weight. All right. We'll move some of this stuff around. Got 2 more of these pesos. Yeah, it's a lot of dimes. These are only 10% silver. Got 2 more odd year ones. 3 more to go to get 1 from every year. Again, I'm going to mention it. The 65 is the hard one to get, lowest mintage of all of them, and quite a bit lower than most of the years, which were tens of millions. Rockville guy had some of these. 5 pesos, 48, and his were all 1948. There is a 47. Doesn't seem to be as common, but I tested this at my jeweler's shop on his Sigma. It reads 900 silver like it's supposed to. Of course, he said before you even put it on the Sigma, it looks right. I've seen several. So we'll clear that out of the way. We'll put Queen Elizabeth down. My zombie looking piece dollar stunt coin that's not actually silver. It's 25 grams, and the piece dollar side head looks pretty much like a 22 piece dollar. But when you go to cling it, you may want to cover your ears. Oh, that's high pitched. That's what 90% should sound like. Okay, I lost track of what's going on the chat. Found a 41S over S Mercury. I've got several 41 Mercuries. That could be something I might have. John's telling you nice. Good find. All right. If AG Stacker's still around, since foreign coins, these are all silver, by the way, but I was told at Rockville, the guy said his junk was 24x, $12 for a half dollar. He had some, but I didn't buy any. So I got back. I bought Mexican coins, a couple of these unpesos. This isn't silver. A 1 peso 45, which is 720 silver. And then one with a hole in it, which he knocked down to just barely over melt. But all the coins in this bag weighed 3.8 troy ounces. They're 80% Canadian coins, a lot of them. Some of them are 835. There's some 90%. There's a Balboa in it. $1.46 per coin. It's over 3 troy ounces of actual silver. Exactly how much, I'm not sure, because it'd take a lot of math to figure that out. But considering they're all 80%, there might be a few 50. There are a few 50% ones in it too. But all in all, it's probably 3.2 troy ounces. At melt, 3 troy ounces is somewhere around $72, and I got it for 57. So it was a screaming bargain to me. Well under melt. You can't really buy U.S. silver that cheap anymore, but you can the foreign stuff at some places. Now, if AG Stacker's still here, I got a new edition for my coin album. Not from him, but he'll probably want to see it. I can't put, this came from AG Stacker. I can't put the Monarch bar in this thing. It's too thick and doesn't fit. The star wouldn't fit very good, neither would the 10-gram button that he sent me. But he did send me, I believe it was from him, this cutout Mercury on a Christmas card. And Old Country Coin Collector sent me the Buffalo nickel. This peace dollar was a gift from a friend who I've made acquaintance with the last year or so and knows I like to talk about silver coins, showing them some. And she said, I got a bunch of these. I want you to have this. I'm like blown away. Got a peace dollar for nothing. That's definitely going into the book. I've got a ways to go. There's 6 pages in this, I believe, maybe 8. Is it 7? That seems like an odd number. Oh well. Another add to my coin album. From friends and from a few of my friendly channels, being Frosty, AG Stacker, and Old Country Coin Collector, have all sent me little items that went into the book. And some items that won't go in the book because they don't fit. Now I don't know if AG Stacker is still around. He hasn't said anything, but I'm wondering if his postmaster people, the Postmaster General and his postal friends, updated him about any chance they found the Liberty Bell round I sent him, because it got torn out of the package and it could have got stuck in the machine somewhere. But I don't know. Got this. It's a 40% JFK. I don't know how well you'll be able to tell from the video quality. This thing looks like someone took it and made it antique look. Like they antiqued the silver. Stands out against any other 40% and was under melt by a few cents. This is another coin you can sometimes get under melt because people don't care too much about 40%. silver. It weighs quite a bit to get many ounces of it because it takes 7 or so of these to make 1 troy ounce. And you buy 100 troy ounces of these, you're starting to talk about a lot of coins. But I like the way this looks, even though it's probably been cleaned a little bit. It looks like there's wipe marks and stuff on it. But it was 335 and 343 was the melt on these when I bought it. But it's not this one. This is a more vintage Liberty Bell. I sent one of these to AG Stacker. I put it in a couple clasp envelope and then a couple envelopes folded up inside of it. Shouldn't have come out. Somehow it got torn and it's an A-mark Liberty Bell. And it came out of the package. And I'm just wondering if he's heard anything, whether or not they found one. Because if they find this and they can get it to him, he'll get the gift I meant for him to have. If someone stole it out of the mail, well, we'll probably never see it again. It's Liberty Silver. This one's a vintage one in that it has a date. The one I sent him does not. So I'm hoping that he can find that. I hope they can find it and get it to him because I didn't send it to him for him not to get it. I mean, he's sent me some nice stuff. Showing these off a bit. This is a Constitution with the USS Constitution on it. This was made in Provo, Utah. It does have a date over here, 74. I like this one quite a bit because of the sailing ship design. Sold as generic, but the ones I picked out of the bag of generic are probably a little bit less generic than that. They're only generic because no country made them. This one is a Pearl Harbor 50th anniversary, and from what I heard from the guy who was selling them, he had a guy come in and look them over, and he found some of these. He said this one's a little bit more of a premium one. How much, I don't really know, but it shouldn't have been as cheap as the generics were, even though it is a generic round. I was told on my coin dealer that they made a Mercury Dime version too. And I'd like to get the Mercury Dime because I want the set. These two probably shouldn't be really generics, but they're not made by a country. They don't have a denomination except for the fact that it says quarter and half dollar because they're replicas inside the commemorative copy, as it says. These are neat rounds. I want the Mercury Dime one. I ain't seen one, but I definitely want it. What else is there to talk about? We'll go back to these Mercury Dimes for a second. I'll give you another look at this. This thing, I'm trying to tell and see if it really looks like there's any wear on this. It does not look like it. It does have a little toning. Don't think it's a full bands one. By the way, if you're looking for full bands, the top and the lower ones stay longer than the middle band, which will have a little line of a split between there. I can make it out along the edges, but not in the middle. So this one isn't a full bands one. This one is a 41, Philadelphia. It looks like a full bands. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it. It's hard to see in this. I mean, the screen it gives me, I don't get much. I have to take it and look at it away from the screen. The line extends all the way through the middle band, but it's kind of slightly worn. But these Mercury dimes in this kind of shape, where they're round, mint state, they're really nice looking coins. That's one reason why I really like the Mercury dimes. They're really cool. Or not really cool, they're just a nice design. Along with the Standing Liberty, which, by the way, if you can find a Standing Liberty with this kind of mint luster in kind of wear, they didn't have much headroom on the Constitution and Constellation. Oh, the sailing ship? Probably not. Um, Generally speaking, people were a bit shorter stature back then than they are now. I I do know that um, the Constitution, they use it during Fleet Week. It's a very plumb naval assignment. It's still an active ship in the U.S. Navy, but it's not one that'll ever go out to combat because it's a wooden battleship or ship of the line. Wherever, you know, they do not; those things do not fight no more. They're not used in that capacity because any of our surface ships that we use today can probably take it out if they had to real fast. If by some weird time warp incidents a pirate ship would come from the pirate days and attack a U.S. sailing, fighting ship today, be it a PT boat or a Corvette, destroyer, cruiser, any of those, they would make mincemeat. You're on the Constellation in Baltimore. Do they keep that one active, or is it a museum? Because I don't really know. I know that the Constitution does participates in Fleet Week. I know that much. If I don't know much and nothing else. I'm getting ready to shut this down for the night. I have a few videos going live. I have other things to do tonight. But I've been on for about an hour in Inner Harbor. Baltimore's Inner Harbor. Well, I've never been to Baltimore. Maybe someday. Probably not anytime soon, but someday. But yeah, you couldn't get U.S. silver this weekend at most of the coin shops or pawn shops or anywhere. The junk type stuff were very cheap. 24X is a pretty steep price for a dime, quarter, a half dollar. He had a box with several of them in it, but I was like, balked at that. I will buy junk silver if it's cheap enough, but I've been kind of aiming towards more premium coins of late instead of just junk. But every now and then the junk comes up and everybody's having fun in the chat. Well, that's good. I'm happy for that because I like it that people will stick around and listen to me talk coins. All right. We'll put these away. We'll start putting away all this stuff and shutting it down for the night. My dad was a Navy guy. Well, that's cool. I was in the Army Reserve, which isn't the same thing, but when I was in, had I stayed enlisted, I would have went to Iraq and fought in the Iraq War. And if I stayed longer, I probably would have went to Afghanistan too, even though I was in the reserves. So got out because I don't know how we can tell my complexion. I'm not very much light, it's very light complexion. Sunburned real easy. And for a funny story, I got sunburnt in February before. Might not believe that, but I definitely got sunburnt in February. I was in the Army Reserve at the time. We were out in the motor pool, snow on the ground, bright sunny day. So the snow reflected the sunlight as well. So Got home that night, took a shower, felt the back of my neck, felt like it was on fire. I'm like, what the heck? Got out, looked in the mirror, sunburn. Sunburnt in February. Sunburnt in February. How funny. I was stationed at Oceana, but the USS America and USS Ike was the carriers our squadron worked off. Interesting. I'm assuming by America you don't mean the new America. I'm assuming you mean the old aircraft carrier that's been decommissioned for, in, if I remember correctly, is a reef. They sunk it and made it. Yeah, sunburnt in February. Can you believe that? It is crazy, but it's true. So I have a thing with the sun. I usually always use a lot of. I'm gonna be out doing something. Sunscreen, and I got a hat that's got a wide brim. It's got a stuff in it that you put a little water in it, helps keep your head cool. Yeah, they did. They sunk it, which is a shame. But they also sunk the CV-34, which was a Essex class. There was a there's a YouTube video about how the people had to do to prepare that to be a reef. They had to go through the entire ship and take out all the asbestos and other dangerous stuff, any of the metals that were in it, copper, silver, anything that was could be sold for scrap. That and they took all that stuff out of it. The guy was talking. He said, "Yeah, it did." They worked on the CV-34 for about 9 months, stripping it of everything before they sunk that one for a reef. But guy was talking about it. Said, "I've been on this ship for 9 months, taking it apart, and every day I find another room in it that I don't remember being in before." That's how big those things are. And America was a lot bigger than those were, because the Essex started at about, that class I believe was somewhere around 27,000 tons, and the America was a super carrier. I believe it was Kitty Hawk class. Although it might have been Forstall. I don't remember for sure, but those were much, much bigger. Both of them. Not as big as the ones they make now, but I think they were somewhere around 60, 70,000 tons with a full load compared to 30. I think the Essex ended up being around 30 something thousand. The ones they updated with angled flight carriers and all that, or flight decks, I mean, and stuff, and added stuff to them. I think they ended up being about 30 to 34,000 tons with a load. They were magnificent, great ships. They helped us win World War II. I mean, they ended up making 24 of those too. Yeah, you have to do a lot to prepare some ship like that, an aircraft carrier, to be sunk, because there's a lot of stuff on them. Even the older ones that were oil fired, they couldn't do that with a nuclear one, not without taking the reactors and everything out of it. So I don't know what they're going to do once they get a few more of the Ford carriers built and they start decommissioning the the new ones. I don't get mind for it. Lost my yeah, they're big ships. Um, God, I can't believe I got mind defunct going on. I cannot remember. Ike is yeah, I just saw a guy wearing a Carl Vinson hat, CV-70, CVN-70. He was an older guy. That ship's still out at sea. It might be in dock getting a refit or something, but it's still in commission. I mean, all of those are. But I'm having the worst. mind funk. I cannot remember the class name of those. It's some I know, but I just can't remember it right now. But all of them, there's 10 of them in total. And I laugh out loud too because I cannot remember what it is. Hold on a second. It's bugging. Nimitz class. How could I forget? But anyway, that particular ship, the first one, is nearing 50 years old now, and it's still being used. They were planning on decommissioning it, but they've delayed that because, yeah, Kitty Hawk class, that was with them for the America. Yeah, I don't totally remember the displacement, but I can find that pretty quick. Hold on. Back up. Well, what I got on the America says it was 60,000 tons and up to 80 with a full load. 81,000 tons with a full load. How big was the Forestalls? About the same. The Forestalls were the first super carriers. Changed the design around a little bit. Updated certain things they did on it. Once in practice, they found out it doesn't work as well as they wanted. So that's why they're a little bit different. The newer ones, the layout, because if they put the elevator on the one side on the Forestall, right where the angled flight deck is, right where they take off, and that slows down taking aircraft down or raising them up from the flight deck. So they moved them on. I believe they did it on the Americas. They did it on the Nimitz ones anyway, for sure. But some people don't realize how big the Gerald Ford carrier is. It's 100,000 plus tons, and they're making the JFK, which is supposed to be ready for launch in 2024. But yeah. Well, the steam ones, the reason why they want the electromagnetic launch instead of steam, it's not as much stress on your aircraft. Because using the steam catapults, it puts more tension and more torque taking off. It's more of a jolt, and it wears your airplanes out. So they figure the airplanes will last longer on the Ford class, and it should be faster to launch too. But enough of talk about aircraft carriers. I'm not really an expert, but I do study the subject. All I know is those new ones are $14 billion. At least the first one was. They end up making 10 of them, which is what they planned. I hate to even think what the last one's going to cost. I won't be around for that though. Steam had no loads too. I don't know. I'm not as versed about it. I just know that they say in the videos I've seen and what people have said, the electromagnetic launches less stress. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a total expert on that kind of stuff, but it's something I do read about and know a little, choice little about. All right, I'm gonna start putting some of this stuff back up. Does anybody else have any questions that stuck around for this? Or have I bored too many people? Well, sometime there wasn't the steam press that showed. Okay. I'm not exactly sure what you mean by steam press, but anyway, I had a good time tonight talking to y'all and hope that y'all have a good night. You're looking at pennies. I found a wheat cent in my change the other day and made a video about it because that's why I don't generally look at pennies too much when I go to the coin shop. The only ones I really want to buy are I saw an Angle Deck launch. He almost went in the drink. Yeah, no pressure. No, if you get launched off the end of one of the aircraft carriers and you don't have something goes one of your engines don't want to power up properly, you're not going to probably make it. As long as your afterburners and your on your F-18 are working good and your engines are in good order, you should be able to go off with no problems. But landing on one of those is another story. People that flown and landed on has said that's one of the hardest things to do is landing on a pitchy, a stormy seas and landing on an aircraft carrier because the thing goes with the waves a bit, rocks, rolls, whatever. So you end up with something that isn't just steady like a runway would be on the earth unless there's an earthquake. That's a whole different story. Burn was what saved him. Burner. Yep. Um, those things are pretty interesting things. I know there's several aircraft carrier museums. One closest to me is probably the Intrepid in New York, which it's a Essex class. The Midway is used as a museum now, and there's a couple other ones, but the names I can't think of them offhand. But I'm working on putting this stuff up, clearing my table. I don't have to put this stuff up in the lock boxes. Hello, Compton. Just about done tonight. By the way, if you haven't seen one of these, this is a 1948 5 peso coin. All right, addicted to minis. You're gonna want to rewatch part of this because I have a coin. I have a coin that you're gonna want to see. It's Mexican. All right. We are talking about this. If you happen to see one, know that these things are bigger and heavier than a Morgan dollar. It does look like it, but this is 48 Cinco pesos or 5 pesos. The back is different. It's a Mexican circulation coin, not the Aztec. Otherwise, this part does look a lot like the Aztec round you're talking about. This is 30 grams. Yeah, most of the Canadian coins in that bag that I was shown are, well, it's right here. This bag, most of these coins are 80%. There's a couple 50% ones, a 68 quarter and I think a 68 dime. But this entire bag, is 3.8 troy ounces of coin. Most of them are 80%. There's some 90%, 83.5%, a couple 50%. I figure as it goes, the entire bag, this entire bag is probably 3.2-ish troy ounces. And I got it for $57, so it's quite a bit under melt. And not just a little bit. It's quite a bit. Now, in this, as you'll see when you look, there's a Balboa right there. There's a Cuban silver star one in here too. I don't know if I can get it. There's some French coins like that one. But I've weighed it all on my scale, and it's for $57, $1.46 a coin. So all the bigger coins are well under mint. The dimes that are 80% Canadian are right at melt. The little ones, there's a few smaller coins in here that are sterling nickel or 5-cent Canadians. It's just a different percentage. They don't weigh very much. They're so small and thin. But yeah, I bought that bag because U.S. generic junk, when I went to Rockville's coin shop, they wanted 24x, $12 for a $0.50. Which, if you go online, it's 14 at Hero Bullion and around there. Some of the other ones. There's no cheap junk silver anymore, apparently. So 45 peso is 72%. Yeah, I know that. I said that. I'm pretty sure I said that in my video. But this is a 90% one, so that was cool. That's why I like this one so much and getting it for what I paid for it. I mean, I don't know if you saw what I paid for this one, or if everybody's seen what I paid for it. But considering ordering this from APMEX, they would want, what, this? 5 peso. This is a 5 peso, 1948, 90%, 30 grams coin from Mexico. They made 2 years, 47 and 48. They're 90% silver. They're heavier and bigger than a Morgan dollar. They're a little bit smaller than a 1 ounce. Yeah, that's what this is. And they want over $40 at APMEX to order these if you want to buy one. Yep. It's a nice coin. Yes, it sure is. This thing, when I bought it, I was looking through a foreign silver at my coin dealer, and he had this, and he had one of them Philippine peso coins from 1907. Yeah, you can get these. You can definitely get them. But this is a high premium coin at APMEX. They want 40-something for it. It's not even a full ounce. It's close. I mean, it's 31.1 grams or something for a full ounce, so it's a little under. Yeah, they only made them 2 years, that too. 47 and 48. This is a sweet coin. And when I went to my coin dealer and was thumbing through his silver coins, I got this for the ungodly low price of $19. It was $20.18 at melt. So I got it under $1 under melt. Tested on the Sigma. Not my Sigma, but it's Sigma tested 90%. It's really nice to have gotten that for that price. These dumb things, though, the Morales pesos that are, these are only 10% silver. Even being 10% silver, though, these do have a decent ping to them. It rings for a while. It's a little different pitch than 90% is, which I can kind of show you with this Morgan dollar. I don't want to ping the other one because it's pretty well uncirculated, almost. Still ringing. Okay, I think it stopped. My hearing for real low might not. That coin is Spanish. Well, out of all the coins in here, I'm not sure where all of them are from. I know there's a Cuban. That coin is not Scottish or British. It is Spanish. Well, it's one of the ones in here, and maybe it's this one. If I can get it to come up. It might be this one. Well, this is Leopold II. That's not it, I don't think. But there's some British coins in this little bag. Yeah, I know there's a one real in here. I wasn't sure where it was from. I don't remember what I said anyway, so it's like in, where is that thing? I know it's in here. Cuban Silver Star. Love those. Got a couple of them like this. I remember correctly, it's a little bit bigger coin. Balboa. That was in here. Where is that thing that you're talking about? Probably, was it this one? Nope, that's the Leopold. Where is that thing that you might have been talking about? It also says Napoleon III on it. Well, right now, Addicted to Minis, some of the ones that you are talking about are, you're rewatching the older stuff and commenting in my chat. It will, the French Frank's same way as the Belgian one. I'm gonna have to move this stuff because I'm curious as to which coin you're actually talking about. It's one of these. Nope, I think that's the German one. Still backtracking, yeah, that's why I'm kind of lost as to what you're talking about. An old Frank. But this Leopold III, oh, that's Napoleon III, sorry. The other one here, this is Leopold II. And problem with this, it says 1/8, can't read any of the rest of the date. 1 franc. I couldn't tell you. Yeah. 68 with a magnet. Yeah. That is right. Some of them aren't. So let's see if we can slightly ping it. It's so small. If it's silver, it should ping, though. Well, it won't stay on my finger. I'm almost certain of that. kind of high. Well, how much is it supposed to weigh in how much is it supposed to weigh in terms of grams if it's not silver? Because I can weigh it real quick by itself. Just gotta get the scale back out. Yes, you are. Because I just looked at the whole pile. All right, we'll try and move some stuff out of the way. All right, we have the 50 grams. We'll put this 68 on here. Coin weighs 5.83 grams. And I'm probably thinking that's got to be a silver. We'll just compare it to another one of the Canadians. Well, it weighs more than that one, so even though it's 50%, I don't think the other metal on the half mark. See, you're going so quick. The sower, you're going so quick that I can't keep up with what you're talking about. I need a Libertad too. Yeah, we all need Libertads. The mint mark on the where do you say that? Oh, the half mark. We'll just pull all the coins back out of the bag and lay them down. Try to find the half mark for you. It's a small coin. That ain't it. I don't know what the heck this one is. There's so little left on this one that there's so little left on that one too. Oh, that's the Spanish one you're talking about. Can I get a close look at the Spanish colony? I'm trying to find the half mark or the mark coin. That ain't it. There. Half mark, 1915, I believe. Well, I'm not seeing a mint mark on the front. Must mean it's on the back or the other side. Okay, there's a D. I'm not sure, but I'm assuming that is well, I see a D. It does not look like there's anything else with it. Because you're saying two letters, and I don't see two letters on this. Looks like a D to me, unless I don't see anything else on there. Unless the toning's hiding it from me. That's Guatemala coin. French. Interesting stuff in this little bag. Lot to talk about. That's a Philippine occupation coin made for the Philippines during World War II. Uh, they got occupied by the Japanese, and then we uh, liberated them. Yeah, but that one's in 1915, I think. Yeah, it's 1915. Is it the overdate variety? On this half mark? I don't think so. Doesn't look like there's an overdate on it to me. And there was another marked coin in here somewhere, I thought, but exactly where it is, I think it was one of the smaller ones. No, it's another half mark. This was an A. Looks like an A on there. That's an A, all right. 1912 half mark. This is 1915. You say 15 over 5. A is Berlin. It doesn't really look like the one to me is a 1 over a 0, so I don't think D is Munich. Well, like I said, I don't have too many German coins. Those are World War One era coins. Well, one's slightly pre, and the other one's afterwards. What do you think about the shilling? 1915. King George V. Yeah. Well, it's a bunch of different random stuff, and the overall price of $1.46 per coin made some of these quite a bit under melt. I don't know if this is the one you were talking about. Oh, yeah, I figured it was sterling. The Germans are 90%. I'm pretty somewhat certain of that fact. I don't know if this is the one coin you were talking about or not, because this side is so worn that it's basically a chip with some lettering on it, but unless you have one of a better design, it's going to be kind of hard to guess what we're talking about. This is it, the reverse. Well, that's probably about as best I'm going to be able to zoom on it. I thought that was like the Scottish line, but maybe it isn't. The lower left. All we got on the lower left side over here is a worn out coin. I can't make out much of nothing on it. Not through that. Can't tell the minute. All I see is pitting and worn out coin. Yeah, it's a slick, all right. Probably worth $1.46 in silver though. Likely Mexico City. Well, this side's so messed up, you're not going to be able to tell what this design was, if that makes any difference. It's a 2-bit. Yeah. I mean, there's really nothing to focus on this. It's so slick. But it was only $1.46 each coin, so you didn't get much of a choice. It's worth about 4 in silver weight. Kind of thought it would be worth more since it's a little bit bigger coin than the dimes. Since you mentioned the Mexican coins, the 45, they wrote down the ASW. It's upside down, but it's a definite Mexican. Libertad 720. It says it right on the front. And silver weight, oh, you stole it. Pretty much that bag was a steal. I was going to buy dimes, US dimes, and but I changed my mind because of that bag. You want the 23, yeah. This is still kind of cool though. I mean, I'm not complaining. Yeah. But the other one, and I don't know if you saw it yet when you backtracked, got a hole. 7.720 and busted out. Nicks on it. Says hold. It's a 35. Luckily, they didn't punch the date out. Peso 35. Now I did knock down the price on this from what was wrote on the card because I mentioned, yeah, it's got a hole. Can you do any better? And he calculated some stuff and knocked it down from price. And got some of your other pesos that aren't silver. That one's got a hole too. It's an peso 1981. I still like this stuff. By the way, since you're here, bought this probably 2 months ago. This bag is full of random world coins. None of them are silver. They were 20 cents a piece. So let me get all this stuff moved and we'll look at a couple of them. Because I ain't seen it in 2 months. I don't even know what's in it. That's how long it's been since I looked at it. We'll carefully gather up all these silver coins and move them out of the way so as not to get these mixed up with the ones that aren't silver. Where'd that bag go? To really make sure I don't mix them up, I'm going to put them back in this. Done good, boss. Yeah. I feel like I did pretty good on this too. But like I said, this bag of random world coins that I got in the paper bag, I bought them out of a box, 20 cents a coin. I don't even remember what's in it. Make sure I left one of these out here somewhere. put the scale up because I don't need the shell for these. They're not silver. Alright. Got the stuff out of the way. All the little coins are removed, put back in the bag. This bunch of more modern coins. Some of the large British pennies. This is a 67. There's several of those in there. This one looks pretty good. Barely worn. Some of them are worn more than others. 65. .50, 1973. That might be a commemorative one because it doesn't look. I do too. I hate seeing coins go to melt. Seen a few videos by some of the bigger channels where they're talking about that, saying that, wow, that's a brown, that's kind of a brown red. 65. They're both 1965s. Bought a lot of those. By the way, the half penny. Love the sailing ship design on this. There's a French coin, 5 francs, 75. If that was an older one, it'd be silver. Probably, I think it's 0.835 for the last few years they made them. Australia, 20 cents. Another one. Another one of these, 59. Italian coin, 100 lire. Yeah, usually when I buy these, I buy the bigger coins and not the littler coins. This is Hong Kong, $1.75. Yeah. What is this thing? Oh, 1990. A punt. Northern Ireland, I think. Oh, there's a lot of them in there. 50p eagle coin. Another, I think that's an eagle. No, I ain't no eagle. It's a bird, though. It's pronounced Lear. Cooney, copper nickel. Copper nickel. But anyway, that's not an eagle. It's a bird, though. One with a hole in the middle. 1 krone. Fiji, a hole in the middle. Elizabeth II in the crown. 3p. Barbados, 5 cents. Yeet. Irish love animals on their coins. Yeah. By the way, I don't really think any of these are super valuable. The Trident Barbados penny, or cent, I mean. But this one don't look too worn. That's probably why I grabbed it. This, I believe, is some kind of French coin. 1931. It's a little bit old. I dropped it. But no, if you like this kind of coin, beaten potatoes, addicted to many. If you like these kind of coins, I have a playlist about this where I bought lots of these coins. Literally, it's probably over 10 pounds easy. I put them in a box. I can tag you in one of the videos if you want to see some of them. But I did. I bought a whole bunch of random world coins like this to fill up a box. It's not a treasure chest. It's a nautical themed box that I got from Hobby Lobby. But yeah, out of all this stuff, I haven't seen this in 2 months. I was going to live stream about it, but I never got around to it. Forgot I even bought it, actually, because it's sitting over here underneath stuff in the bag. But I can tag you in the first video that I made about that, and then there's a playlist. You can watch all of them if you want. Take you a little while. Most of them are only about 8 or 10 minutes, maybe 15. But this is a lot of big coins, and that's, if you're filling up a box, this is the kind of coin you want to buy for it. Bigger coins, not... Oh wait, I totally forgot about this one. Sailing ship. That's why I grabbed that. I'm not even sure where this one's from. But I grabbed it because of that sailing ship. And that's what this one, I grab these when I get them too. Caribbean Territories is a quarter from 62. Not silver. At least I don't think it's silver. But that's what I bought. And I don't even know exactly how many videos is in that. Probably about 8, maybe. Went from partially full to it's totally full. Box still sitting there full too, but they're all 20-cent coins, every one of them in it. That little one with the sailing ship, you could be right. You could very well be right. 1988 is what date's on it. It's a very small coin. If it's Russian, it could be. There's so many different coins in these world coin collections that a coin dealer, he'll buy the stuff and sell it by the pound. And he has a U.S. monster box that he puts them in, and he sells them for 20 cents a piece. But anyway, I've been online almost 2 hours with my live stream, so I'm going to go ahead and wish you all good night. And I thought I did really well when I bought this for 19, and buying all these little random world coin silvers for $57 is well under melt. That's all I care about, was well under melt. And there's some neat designs in it too. But I want to go ahead and wish you all good night. I definitely need to move on, get some sleep later, that kind of stuff. Oh, before I run off entirely, bonus half hour. Yeah, you're probably right. But before I run off for sure for the night, every now and then you can find these. This is silver proofs. This was $18 when I bought it. It's 2011 set. U.S. silver proofs. All estimate. It's $1.25 face because there's 5 of them. And I also got this one from 2017. It was 20 when I bought it. Grab. I think these run a little bit more now because silver's higher than what it was when Grab Yankee pistols. The silver was a little higher now than what it was when I bought these, but at $18 for 5 coins, this is not wasn't a hard decision when I saw them because I quite like the silver ones, like how they frosted it for the proof. But yeah, you got at least a bonus half hour because Addicted to Minis showed up. I want to thank everyone who did show up. I hope that you all have a really good night. And throw that in there too. So, cool kids. Hey, cool kids. You had a good night. And I hope that you all have a good night too. And when you do videos and you pull out several loose coins and you drop one, make sure you didn't drop two like I did. At least I was able to find it. Have a good night, everyone.